Darlings, it's Mummy, Sybil Brunson, and it's Sunday in June. And again, this is an absolutely glorious weekend. The weather is beyond spectacular, although it still is very much like September. This doesn't remind me of June at all. It's more like the end of September. It's garbage day, as you can say. We put out our garbage, and we get it all organized and separated, and we do the responsible thing, even though it's not really recycled. It goes to a big dump, and then we poison the earth and kill ourselves. That's another story for another time, is it not? Anyway, here's the gate to my garden. Many of you are bored, so you can just tune out right now. But for those of you that are gardeners, or for those of you that aren't and couldn't give a damn about plants, but are restored by looking at what other people do, come into my garden. Every week it gets a little bit better, and this is definitely getting better. There's the scavola over in the side, and geraniums. Yes, Mummy gave in to marigolds and geraniums. I did not give in to petunias, but my one surrender this year to man-made flowers that are totally useless. They perform no function to bees or butterflies. There's not an insect that's interested in them. Is geraniums and marigolds. Marigolds chase away everything, and geraniums nobody cares about. The deer want them. But anyway, there you go. Here's my yarrows. Those are yarrows right there. They're kind of tiny. They're not as big as they used to be. I'm trying. They're growing with liatris and with woolly thyme. That is really thyme. Could be put into a recipe. Those are my Montauk daisies, which have been pruned back, and they look like they're dead, but they're not, darlings. That's what they need in May, and then again, even in late June or July, to really be bushy. Nothing in that pot yet. More woolly thyme, more woolly thyme. Over here, geraniums, a few orphaned yarrows. Excuse Mummy's shadow with her Katharine Hepburn hat. Here is the Centauri montana, which is related to bachelor buttons. These are sort of large ones. They were blooming last week. You saw them. The blooms went by. Mummy deadheaded them. And it looks like they're going to try. There you go. They're going to try and do another set. Very interesting for a perennial. I've had those a couple of years. Scavola, of course, deadhead these. You trim off these ends and they become bushier and bushier, and that's what Mummy will be doing next week. Here's my bonsai'd lavender. It wasn't deliberately bonsai'd, but it is bonsai'd now. And look, the blossoms are coming out. More liatris, gay feathers, appropriately named, don't you think, for Fire Island? Gay feathers. These are those prairie plants that become huge spikes. There they're starting. And these are purple, and there's a white one somewhere. I can't remember. Here's the orphan pot. There's some yarrows that are trying, and there's some lavenders that were supposed to come back. Mummy's doing this as an experiment. I'm feeding it and watering it and hoping that something happens in there. Coleus, yes, more coleus. Oh, this is heuchera. There's some New Guinea impatiens. I'm doing a sort of a pink, green, white, maroon thing over here. Geraniums again, coleus. Here's maiden's tears or bladder campion. And look, the darling little thing has creeped into the next pot over. I simply adore that. Bladder campion, you're welcome wherever you want to go. You are an interloper. You came into my garden as a weed on some other pot that I bought, and I have been glad to have you every year. The blossoms on that are charming, charming beyond belief. I believe that's... Yes, that is a fleabane, which is a weed, but I adore them, and I'm letting it grow in that pot. Over here, oh, lobelia. I've never grown lobelia. Look at it. It's ridiculous. I should knock wood. I don't want to jinx it, but it seems to be extremely happy and doing very well. Another lavender right there, and then some salvia, and I believe that's Veronica, and another marigold for some oomph. Geranium for oomph. Lobelia, brilliant. Thank you for working so hard. Balloon flowers, my old friends. I've had you for maybe 8-10 years now. You keep coming back. Darlings, I'll show you as soon as they balloon. They're purple flowers, lovely. More salvia and something else in there, and some salvia or Veronica or whatever that is back there. I'm not sure. I've got to get the names of these. And look, Mummy rigged up a little trellis to support the sagging stems. That is a verbena. It's a vertical verbena with some sort of strange thing there. Some marigolds, an empty spot which needs filling. Blue-eyed grass. Mummy just got it. It's related to irises. It's not really a grass. It looks like a grass, but it's irises. Those are blue-eyed grass. They should be perennials. I'm hoping they will come back. I've had them before. They came back year after year, and then one year they died. Dianthus, I believe, is related to carnations. These are going to burst pretty soon. They shall be exciting. more Veronicas and Verbenas and some asters or some things in there. These pots are my project next week. I got some black netting. I'm going to try and repot my hens and chicks and get some more and get those back to the way they were years ago. There's another fleabane right there growing vertically. It's a weed, but I still love them. Okay, more lobelia. Thank you for trying. Geranium, lovely. More Veronica or salvia. More of that strange thing in the back. Scavol. Here's a pruned one. There's an unpruned one. Here's a pruned one. This one will get bushier and bushier. It looks a little cut up, but it won't be for long. It will be very healthy. Gazania. I think Gazania would be a great drag name, don't you? And now, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Miss Gazania from Xenia, Ohio. I think that would be a great name for a drag queen. This is something Kempa good deed doer. Anyway, it's a nice plant, and I will find the name of it and get it for you. More of my Calambrocoa up there. I pruned them back, and they look a little bit blossom sparse, but they won't be for long. They'll be enormous. Mexican gold up there in the two small pots. Lovely. Should be very happy up there beside the lantana. Lantana. I think Lantana would be a wonderful drag name. Lantana and Gazania are your hostesses tonight. That would be lovely. This is deer resistant, deer proof, but I put it up there anyway, and it seems to be doing well. This is sort of a mix of yellows, then purples and whites, purples, whites, yellows, purples, whites, yellows, a little bit of blues, purples, yellows, whites, yellows, on, and purples, yellows, whites. These are yellow yarrows. And then suddenly, when you walk in, over on the left, the shade part of the garden, which is sunny right now, but it's usually shaded, is a vision of greens, whites, pinks, and cerises and maroons. So that's the only place where it's kind of like a different area. And for most of the day, that is all hidden by the tree, which shadows it, and the fence. So I'm trying my best over there. There's the garden. That's the garden. And Mummy got most of the names right, and I shall get the rest right for you, and I will fill in. I think another New Guinean patience is going to go in that blank spot, and something will be tucked in there, and something will be tucked in there. This will still keep in the pink, green, white range over here. So 1, 2, 3 plants need to go there. One more in that pot, something in that spot. So I have, 3, 4, 5, possibly 6. And that's good. And then if I ever do anything again, although I may leave that pot fallow this year in memoriam for my beautiful, beautiful Mandevilla that didn't survive last year and I was hoping someone would take it in on the mainland and put it in their garage and keep it safe and fairly warm for the winter, but no one did. So it broke my heart. Anyway, that's a sad conversation for another time. Darlings, what does Mummy always say? The 3 words. Be present, be mindful, be grateful. Be present, be mindful, be grateful. Everything you see, everything you smell and taste and touch, and certainly everything you love is borrowed. It's only borrowed. From Fire Island, Mummy, Sybil Bruncheon.